Mr. Jain, can you tell us what prompted 600 of you to write this letter? Is it the electoral bonds verdict that went against the government in a way that has prompted you all to suddenly believe there's political pressure on the Supreme Court?
Rajdeep, I don't think electoral bond verdict has got anything to do with the letter, because after the electoral bond verdict came, we did not indulge in calling the Supreme Court. Neither the judges were criticized, neither the Supreme Court was criticized. On the contrary, there is a pattern that has emerged in last 2 months that whenever a Supreme Court gives a verdict, you start trying to call it an agenda. I will come to the point straight away. You remember just 2-3 days before, when Kavita's matter was being argued in the Supreme Court, and when the Supreme Court was reluctant to grant the relief, and the Supreme Court clearly told Mr. Sibal that you have to go to the lower court, it was Mr. Sibal who reminded the Supreme Court that this period will not be treated as a golden period, and you have to pass the order. And if you don't pass the order, then they try to tell the Supreme Court and remind them about the legacy. Second, if you would have noticed, after Article 370, after Ram Mandir judgment, the kind of attack that was used against the judiciary, and particularly against the Chief Justice. So after the electoral bond verdict, the Supreme Court was not attacked. But conveniently, whenever there are people who are involved in the corruption matters, there are politicians who accuse them for the corruption. They appear for them in the courts, and when they do not get the favorable relief, they start name-calling the judges. I will just finish in 30 seconds more. Recently, there has been a concentrate, and I will use the name very responsibly. There is a section of lawyers who have used the social media to basically criticize the judgments of Justice Bela Trivedi also, by straight away saying, oh, she is going to pass the orders in favor of the government. There is a pattern. We are not going to get the relief and all. See, Rajdeep, this is matter of concern when you start putting an aspersions on the judiciary, you start name-calling the judges, and it is the common man's belief in the judiciary that starts getting shaken up. That is the matter of concern.
Okay, but the fact is your letter has come within a week of the electoral bond verdict, which many believe has embarrassed the Modi government. So therefore, people are perhaps assuming that that this letter has been written because the electoral bond verdict has embarrassed the government. The point is your letter seems to suggest that Justice Chandrachud is going to be influenced by the surround sound, as will other judges. Is that what you are claiming? That judges of this country are so fallible that they will be influenced by what someone writes on social media about them?
Let me come to this point straight away. The letter expresses the confidence in the judges of the court and the Supreme Court, and it also tells the Supreme Court that we stand with the court. But the problem is the kind of smear and the whisper campaign that has been started to tarnish the reputation of the judicial institution, to tarnish the reputation of the judges, to tarnish the reputation of the courts, to tarnish the reputation of the lower court. That is a matter of concern. That is the most important issue. And why as a lawyers, we win some cases, we lose some cases. But then when we lose the cases, we start blaming the judiciary, we start blaming the institution, we start blaming the judges. That is a matter of concern.
No, but Hitesh, as you well know, that Adesh Agarwala, the SCI, the Supreme Court Bar Association president, after the electoral bonds verdict said, I want a presidential reference. Questioning. You see, both sides question the judiciary when things don't go their way.
Rajdeep,
you see, the point is you are dragging the judges into your political battle. Why drag the judges into your political battle?
But Mr. Adesh Agarwal also never casted any aspersion on Supreme Court judges. There are some lawyers, they have gone to the extent of comparing that the Indian Supreme Court is akin to the judiciary in Pakistan and China, because it just gives the judgment in favor of the government. What sort of criticism is this? I mean, I'm sure even you will agree. Can you compare our judiciary with what is happening in China and Pakistan? That is the interview that have been given. That is what is being fed to the young law students. That is what is being fed to the lawyers. That is what is being fed to the public at large. Is Supreme Court required to be subjected to such kind of comparison? Do we compare our Supreme Court to Supreme Courts of Pakistan and China?
Okay.
I mean, we can have the criticism of the judgment, but certainly you never compare the institution to the Supreme Courts of China and Pakistan, which happened 5 days before. This is all a matter of concern.
Okay. Hitesh Jain, for giving us the reasons why you've signed on to that letter. I appreciate you joining me. Let me widen this debate, because this debate requires now some senior lawyers also to join us. Vikas Singh He's former Additional Solicitor General and a former President of the Supreme Court Bar Association, as is Dushyant Dave, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court. Great to have two fine legal minds joining us on the show today. First to you, Mr. Dave, your first reactions to this letter. As you heard Hitesh Jain, the lawyers who've signed on are upset with the scurrilous remarks that are being made against judges. You, among others, have been at times accused of taking on some of the judgments of the higher judiciary. Okay, we'll try and get Mr. Dave in a moment. Vikas Singh, you want to respond to this letter which has been put out? What does it indicate? Is it that all is not well within the bar and the bar is being split politically now?
Well, Rajdeep, to start the answer, I would like to first of all comment that I am very happy to see Mr. Salve in some very good company of Mr. Adish Agarwal in the same letter. Now, as far as this judiciary attack on judiciary is concerned, there is a concern of the people of this country. And the concern is that if there is a special bench to be constituted every time when some politically sensitive case comes, and that special bench comprises of 3 presiding judges, so they leave their 3 different benches and come and sit together, then that's something which is, it raises an alarm. Why can't it go to a normal bench? Why can't a matter of this kind go to a regular bench?
No, are you suggesting you're making a serious charge. You're hinting somewhere there at bench fixing, which is one of the points which is made in this letter, that who are these lawyers when they don't get a verdict in their favor, say the bench is fixed?
So, Rajdeep, I'm not saying that I'm saying it is a question of bench fixing, but it is definitely a matter of concern when a regular bench doesn't hear a matter and a special bench is constituted. That is number one. Number two, when you say that a person of, a political person like this, like Mr. Kejriwal or somebody has to be arrested, I am not getting into the merits of it. I'm sure there must be something very seriously wrong with what Mr. Kejriwal has done. I'm sure that he will have to face the trial and he will have to bear the brunt of it. But there is no necessity to arrest somebody, because if you read Article 20 of the Constitution, you can't be compelled to implicate yourself in a crime. Now, when you say that he's evading answers, I mean, I have a right to keep silent. So when you say he's evading answers, if he feels that a particular answer is going to implicate him in a crime, he has a right to keep silent.